Standing here in the Troy Built Models booth with Gene Payson. And Gene, you got something really cool to talk about with some UAV training?
Yeah, we're selling lots of UAVs nowadays, and we do the training along with it, which is the big selling point for the UAVs. And I've been going around the world actually doing training of different air forces and things like that. And then a lot of cinematography companies are actually buying these, film studios, and they're training people how to use them. And the FAA is eventually in about a year hopefully going to give some guidance as to how to get certified. So they're going to certify the pilot, they're going to certify the airframe. The pilots probably have to have a Class 2 medical, they'll have to take ground school, they'll have to take a proficiency exam, and they'll have an actual FAA license.
Oh wow, so very, very detailed and intricate to get into the UAVs and stay up to date on it.
Right, so that way the people who are in it and follow all the rules, they can make probably somewhere around $80,000 a year. If they're just doing it on their own and they're doing real estate shoots, or they're doing something for insurance companies where they've got damaged roofs or something like that, or maybe search and rescue for some of the local municipalities. So they'll get paid pretty decent amount of money. But I do train a lot of people who are now in the military and they're not in the drone area. And they want to get deployed over to Afghanistan or South America or the Philippines, and they can make about $150,000 to $250,000 a year.
That's a little money.
Not bad. Especially, you know, since everybody thought they had a wasted youth, you know, by fooling around with video games. Now they can get $150,000, $250,000 a year doing that, so they have a great time.
Sure. Cool. Okay, so you mentioned this training course. Now, how does that work? Do you hold classes at your office or your business, or do you travel to people? How does that work?
Well, actually, I work for a university called Unmanned Vehicle University. They're out of Lake Havasu City, and there are several trainers like me, and we train underwater vehicles, surface vehicles, land vehicles, air vehicles, and so there's a lot of trainers. And typically, a person will come to a location anywhere across the U.S. Like I'm in Florida, but there's trainers all across the U.S. And the only way we can do it legally right now is to do training at an AMA field with them having an AMA license basically to fly, and we use model aircraft that are hobby classified, and we follow all hobby rules. So even though some of them might have an autopilot in them, we do it all under hobby rules because that's legal.
Under control from a transmitter.
Exactly, right.
Cool. Very cool.
And so in about a year, hopefully people will run out and get jobs. They say there's going to be over 100,000 UAVs sold a year as soon as the FAA says it's okay. And most of those are going to be used for precision agriculture, where they're going to fly around with a near-infrared, color-infrared, multispectral camera, and they're going to take photographs, put them together in one big photograph called a mosaic. And then they use color imaging so they can see, like say, a soybean field, and they'll see that, oh, this needs more nitrogen, this needs less, this needs more pesticides, might need more or less water, that kind of a thing. So they can do all that, and that's where they see the crux of this going.
Yeah, a very advanced field mapping technique.
Exactly right. So they're looking for hundreds of thousands of pilots and sensor operators and builders and factories and manufacturing, and the U.S. wants to be the worldwide leader. Whereas right now Israel is the leader because the U.S. is not able to export UAVs because they're regulated by Department of Defense.
Cool. But we're talking about the training. What does an average class or training session cost?
Well, we sell some smaller UAVs, and so the training for them starts at about $300 for about a 4 to 6 hour class, and then it'll go up to, well, I'm going to Nigeria for 5 weeks, and it's cost $50,000 to go to Nigeria and train their Air Force. So it ranges quite a lot. UAV University, they have a training course that's a hands-on training course, costs $3,500.
Okay.
And it's about a week.
Okay. Now the $300 is for the class. That doesn't include any kind of a beginner's model UAV or anything like that?
Right, that doesn't, no.
Okay.
But with the $3,500, they provide a UAV type simulator, and they provide a couple of small UAVs. Actually, one of them they send out is this little guy.
Oh, okay.
And this is actually a considered kind of a UAV because it actually has a camera in it.
Oh,
it records on board. And so this, if you fly it around your house taking photographs of your mom, no problem. But if you actually take this off and do a video or photographs of a roof, because you're doing a roof inspection, you sell it for $35 to State Farm Insurance. Well, now it's a UAV, and you have to have a commercial license. This has to have a airworthiness certificate and an N number, and has to be tested, and every propeller has to be changed every so many hours, and it's got to go through inspections and everything else.
Really? Oh, that sounds like a lot of regulations for, I mean, basically a hobby grade, quadcopter.
Well, the idea is hopefully they're going to start coming down in price, and they're going to come down in regulations as well as the community does this safely.
Sure. Another question for you on the training. Now, say you train on something like that small quadcopter that we looked at just a minute ago. Does that qualify you to fly any UAV, or are there different classes of UAVs, and how does the training work for the different classes?
Well, just like with a full-scale pilot license, you usually train on a Cessna 152, 62, 72, something like that. So they have type ratings.
Okay.
So you're going to have a type rating, and it's usually going to be done more by weight.
Okay.
2 kilograms and under, 25 kilograms and under, 25 kilograms and above.
Okay.
Rather than, but they're also probably going to maybe make the distinction between fixed wing and rotary wing.
Okay.
But there is going to be class ratings. There are going to be an FAA certificate. You're going to have a license.
Okay.
Because then, if you're not following the rules, they can pull your license.
Take your license.
That's the whole reason of giving you one.
Okay.
So they can pull it away.
That sounds kind of dirty. All right. Well, thank you very much, Gene.
You're welcome.